MK, and I am back with another May I Scraplift You, and today I am lifting Donna Reynolds, who is scrapping in the sticks here on YouTube, and I wanted to show you guys a few things that I picked out that I will possibly use on this layout, but clearly I'm not going to use everything. So I have this big bag, well, it's not really big, it's about a 4x6 bag, full of jumbled up ephemera or die cuts and things like that from different manufacturers. And then the same with this little packaging. It does not have just Simple Stories stuff in it anymore. And then I have these chipboard stickers from 49 and Market from Hike More. I also, a charm fell out. I also have this adorable little tag that was from a swap that I did over on RTS Facebook group, and it was all about the foxes, and I absolutely loved it. And I apologize that I took it out of the packaging and now I do not remember who created it. So I do apologize. Whoever created it, please shout out so I can give you a shout out, because I absolutely loved it, and I was going to use it on another layout and then it got pushed to this one. Okay, so I have P13 wood grain that I'm going to work with, and then this is a beautiful new close to my heart cardstock that I picked up. I believe it is a pine color. I think that's what the color is, or it's evergreen. One of the two. It's a new color from close to my heart, and truth be told, I haven't been paying attention to the new colors. I don't even have any of the new colors. But this one is called Hope and Something Else. Just the cardstock for that collection. That is a premiere for the next 2 months. Okay, then I'm going to use this stamp set, again, by Close to My Heart, and I happen to have the dies. So the Good Life stamp is going to be my title piece, and then I want to stamp the leaves. Donna's layout happens to have a faded background or a pre-printed background on her green piece, and so that is what I want to do once I get my wood pieces figured out, is I want to take my leaves and kind of ghost stamp them in the background. So I want them to be seen but not be seen, if that makes any sense. So I definitely want to try to find some ink that will blend in really well with the background. But first I'm going to do my wood panels, and I love the fact that hers aren't just straight across. It's not a linear line. It is just like, they almost remind me of railroad ties. So of course I took my distress tool and distressed all the edges, and then I'm going to very lightly glue all of these wood pieces down, and at the end is when I actually use liquid glue to hold them down. So they're just hanging out. Okay, so I've got all my stamp blocks inside this adorable little mini milk crate that is now available in my shop. But I just wanted to show you guys what I store in one of my milk crates, because I thought it would be kind of cute to show what all stores in there. Okay, so I found an ink from Alt to New that worked really well with this background, and I'm going to stamp it first with its full intensity, and then second generation stamp, which is just without re-inking, stamping it again. So that way I get 2 leaves everywhere that I go. And I'm going to do that for all 3 leaves. That way I have a variety of leaves, but I'm not going to change out the ink color. Okay, so that is going to be the stamp. Now this is just a photo of my son's very first bass that he caught for the year 2020. The last fishing layout that I did, which I think was yesterday. Oh, I'm so sorry. I keep doing fishing layouts, you guys. But the last layout that I did fishing was my husband's very first bass of the season. And then along with that photo, my son caught a trout. And so it was all on the same day, so I scrapbooked it all as a same event instead of giving them each their own individual pages. And then this one happened to be one where my husband took my middle son out for a really uber early fishing, because we had plans to go and be places, and they just all summer long, all they want to do is go fishing. So, you know, it's like, well, go get it in while you can. Okay, so I have this little scrap of yellow paper, and I apologize if you can hear the puppy barking in the background. I'm babysitting, and he is just 8 months old, and he is just an adorable little fur ball. But he is currently outside. So anyways, I have this yellow piece of paper left over from a couple layouts ago. And I just wanted to add a little bit of yellow because of the tag. The tag has so many beautiful colors in it that I want to try to bring in all of those colors. So that way I can help it blend in a little bit more instead of just, I'm a bright, bold tag, and nothing else matches. I'm also adding another little fox. Now what I did was I disassembled my chipboard piece to make it a little bit thinner and then trimmed around because the chipboard piece just seems to have way too much white on the edges for me. And so I am just adding that cute little fox. I inked it up too so it wasn't big, bold white. I wanted it off-white to match the tag. And then I changed the believe word on it to wander. Just because I thought that the word believe really didn't go well with what we're doing in the photos. So I just changed a few little things, adapted it to what I was going to use it for. And then the little tag is going to be able to pull out if somebody wants to reach their hand in the page protector. And that's where the journaling is going to go, is on the very back of the tag. So now I'm just going to rifle through all of my little bits and elements and things like that and pull out things that I want to use. And I finally decided I really want to use mushrooms. I don't know why, but I just really wanted to use up some mushrooms. I'm in the mood for mushrooms. I think I use them on another layout too, because I just am, it's a mood that I get into and I want to use it. So I went ahead and I put my stamp for my title up where I wanted it to go. And that helps me figure out how much space I have for embellishments and what I can put up there, because the way that Donna has her layout is she's got the title up at the top, kind of a signage, I think is what it's called, a post sign, over on the left, and then another embellishment down on the bottom. So because I'm using the tag, I want the tag to be associated with the photo. I didn't want it to be like its own separate signage. So I went ahead and I scooted mine over a little bit. So I'm going to have one ginormous cluster instead of one at the bottom right and the left and then up at the top. So I'm kind of scooting all of my stuff together, but my title will be all on its own. So now I'm going to move on to the stamping, and I have decided to do just a black ink, or actually it's a brown ink that was in my Altenew case. I have no idea what colors they are, you guys. I'm not very familiar with the Altenew colors. But I do know that the greens all came in one color palette, which is one of my favorite things about these little cubes of Altenew, is that you pick out your favorite color palettes and then you're able to just buy all of the shades of that one color. So I really like that. And these greens all came in that really cool shade. And what I'm doing is I'm doing the, I think it's called the kissing technique. Not the kissing technique. Rock and roll, I think is what Stamp or Close to My Heart called it, is where I take the lighter color and ink the entire ink pad up, and then I roll the darker color around the edges. So after I'm done stamping, I am going to go ahead and die cut all my pieces out, and then because they are stark white, I did not want them stark white. So I went ahead and just inked up the edges with what was left on my ink dauber without actually going and re-inking anything, because I didn't want it to be, oh my gosh, dark brown. I definitely wanted it to be off-white. So, and I think what was on there was brushed corduroy. You guys, I do not I don't have a different color sponge for every color of in my craft room. I would be overloaded with sponges, to be honest, because I love color. And so I have a designated one for brown until it gets yucky. Then I switch it to a brand new one, so that way the browns can have a brand new one. But that's how it goes. I have one for red, one for green, one for blue. I do have a dark blue and a light blue, and I have a teal and a green type of deal. But as far as one for every color, I just don't have the space for it. So that's me, and I'm lazy. Sorry. Okay, so I have a few elements that I have picked out. These gold leaves were from Janet during a retreat that we went together, I believe last September. And she had some leftovers and whatnot. And of course, yes, please. I took them or she cut them for me. I can't remember. Did she cut extras for me or did I take her leftovers? Anyways, these are the last ones that I have, so they will be used up all on this layout. I have a very lonely little wood heart that did not go with anything else, so I thought I'd add that as well. I scuffed up the edges just by using my finger because it is too small for my edge distresser. And then I'm going to pop up my title on some foam just to give this layout a little bit of dimension. It is all very, very flat. It doesn't look flat, and that is one of the things I love about my edge distresser, is because it lifts things up unintentionally, if that makes sense. It definitely gives everything, like the leaves, a lift. So all I have to do is put glue down at the very end of the leaf, and then the distressed edges will lift up the tip of the leaf, if that makes sense. And I really love that. Okay, I want to make sure that the word life is straight, and the good part, the good in quotes, part is going to be at the angle. So just wanted to make sure that that was where I wanted it to be before I officially called it good. I brought in one of those 49 and Market leaves. I cut it off of the larger bit. Actually, I cut it into 3 different pieces. So that way, this large one that I'm gluing down right now looks like it's the bottom part of the upper one that I put up by my son's head. And then I cut off another piece that wasn't even going to be seen to add that to the title. That way I have that color and that type of leaf in 3 different spots. I was going to use this eucalyptus leaf that is from Creative Memories many, many moons ago. It's a laser cut leaf out, and I've been struggling trying to use it. I don't know what it is, but I have been struggling, and I really did like where it went, but because I couldn't add it anywhere else, or I didn't have the right spot to add it anywhere else, I'm struggling with trying to find where to use it, so it will not stay on this layout. I'll have to come back to another day. I've got one little mushroom over by my subtitle, which is, I think it says Life is an Adventure. So that's kind of a subtitle or just a tiny word sticker. I can't remember the tiny word sticker that I put up next to the Good Life, but it was another Heidi Swap one that I pulled off of her sticker sheet. I think it says let's do it. I think is what it says. Life is the Good Life. Let's do it. I think is what the entire thing says, but I could be wrong. I'll find out in the close-ups, right? I'm going to go ahead and take my sponge again with very little ink on it and just kind of ink up the 175 so that way it's, again, not stark white. I wanted it to kind of blend in. And then I'm going to add a few mushrooms. That little mushroom has a cute little bird on it, and at first I thought I was going to cover the bird up, and then I decided not to. He's super cute, and it looks like him and the fox are having a conversation, probably about eating each other, but I'm not really sure. Okay, so I'm going to work on my leaf cluster. This is where I make the decision that I am not going to use that eucalyptus leaf, but I am going to try to figure out how to tuck everything in. And at first I thought I was going to make the cluster without putting it in, and then I can attach all of it all at once, and that wasn't working in my favor. Not with that skeleton type leaf. I definitely needed to figure out where I wanted it to go, and I finally found a home for it because I didn't want it to be a one-off. I didn't want it to be left in my bin and not have any friends to go with it type of deal. So now I have my skeleton leaves in 3 different spots on this layout, and I think I'm going to call this good, you guys. I've got everything glued down. I went ahead and I'm going to glue the edges of my wood down now because I kept lifting them up to do all of my stamping. I debated on actually taking that Distress Oxide spray in Rustic Wilderness, I think that's his green, and splattering my left side. But I decided I like it the way that it is. I really do love the stamping. I forgot all about this, quick and easy background, quick and easy mixed media. I completely forget to do this. And so one of Donna's, parts on her layout reminded me to do this. And so thank you, Donna. Anyways, this is the layout for today. I am so pleased with it. I absolutely love it, and it was so simple to put together. Thank you so much, Donna, for your inspiration. I really, really do appreciate it. Be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along with May I Scraplift You. We are almost done with the month, and then we are going to be moving on to another series in June. So join us then as well. But until then, keep on watching what we got going on for May I Scraplift You. Thanks so much. Bye.